we have a special guest with us, Dr. Andrew Stewart, the Vice President of Exploration at Xanadu Mines. Welcome, Andrew. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, Hannah. Glad to be here.
Dr. Andrew Stewart is an exploration geologist with over decades experience in mineral exploration. We are excited to have him here today to share insights into Xanadu's exploration process and what lies ahead for Xanadu Mines. So, Andrew, could you please summarize Xanadu's recent encouraging drilling results for the Red Mountain copper gold project?
Yeah, sure. I think it's been very exciting to get back on to the ground and start exploration drilling at Red Mountain this year. You know, we have a very large project in our Kharmagtai project, which is a part of an ongoing PFS at the moment. That's consumed a lot of drilling and a lot of work this year. But, as the drilling phase of that slowed down, we were able to get back on the ground at Red Mountain and start drilling this year. I mean, our focus for Red Mountain is it's a big area. It's over 40 square kilometers. It sits in an area with very prospective rocks. We have outcropping copper, we have outcropping gold at surface. And in the past, exploration there has been a little bit scattered because we have so many targets. The drilling there and the work we've done recently is focused there on some shallow oxide gold and hypogene gold there in that area. So we were very excited by those drill results, and we continue to work there on the ground and really setting up for another phase of drilling. I believe with another phase of drilling, we'll be able to put together some shallow gold resources. And it's very encouraging for what's an area sits with amazing infrastructure. We're only 70 kilometers from a major town. We've got power, there's water in the area. So if we were able to put together some shallow gold resources, it's going to be a real value add for Xanadu.
That's great. So, what are the future drilling plans at Red Mountain and what is needed to define the first ever resource?
Well, once we completed that drilling this year, we've had a look at what that means, and we've put some shapes around the sizes of the dimensions of mineralization. And now that we're armed with that data, we can come back with an infill drill program and infill some of those areas. And, as I said previously, it'll allow us to put together a maiden resource for the Red Mountain project with a focus on shallow high-grade gold.
Could you please outline the deal progress with STSM for the exploration license, including the upcoming exploration program and the discovery expectations?
Yeah, I've just got back to Australia. I was on site this time last week at our South Gobi project. So I spent a few days out there where exploration has now commenced. So the deal is done. We're active on the ground. We have a large field camp there. A very busy program. We're running geophysics, ground geology, mapping, geochemistry. We're doing all this at once. So it's a very busy camp, and we look forward to reporting those results probably in the coming months. But that'll be the first time we've been on the ground. So pretty exciting. I mean, I really appreciated the scale of this system when walking across the ground there last week. We have a very large zone of outcropping ultramafic rocks that have malachite and copper oxides at surface. This is a program that hasn't seen any modern drilling. So once we complete the geophysics, complete the geological mapping, we'll be in a position to probably start doing some drill planning. But most likely we will look to drill after the winter and probably in April, May next year.
Yeah. What high priority follow-up drilling has been identified at the Kharmagtai project? And could you please provide insights into the forward drilling program?
Yeah, we have a few different ways to look at a Mugtai. As we all know, it's a very large resource already. We've got an open pit resource, which will be basically driving the PFS we're doing at the moment. But besides that, outside, we see some significant extensions to mineralization at Whitehill. and very encouraging drill results. And, it's not often you do an infill program
Mm.
and try to find the boundaries of mineralization, but you keep expanding it. So the system remains completely open. We still believe that, there's a bigger system at depth that probably will be amenable to future underground mining. So we have a concept that we will look at the high priority extensions of the White Hill. That's the higher grade material above 0.6 copper equivalent. But also test the deeper parts of the system, looking for that bigger, higher grade system that we believe exists there. So, despite being a very large copper resource, it's really only the tip of an iceberg. This system is growing, grades are increasing, and it's getting better with depth. So, we have a program which we're working on at the moment. The next phase of drilling will be quite a large one again, but that'll be focused on the highest value returns, expanding that resource and focusing on where the system goes at depth.
Thank you. So what is the expected upside potential for the upcoming Kharmagtai resource? Based on drilling results, how is the first ever reserve shaping up?
Yeah. Well, we recently, the last few weeks, we've put out a press release looking at that resource increase that we put up. That will be the basis for the PFS. So at this stage, that will go into the PFS study and is being used as the baseline. But on top of that, there'll have to be more drilling to grow that.
Regarding the PFS, could you please provide insights into the scale and grade expectations for the upcoming reserve and its potential impact on the PFS compared to the scoping study?
Well, I think at this stage, when we look at the PFS,
Mm.
the scoping study is probably the best baseline for that. What the PFS is doing is really proving up some of the concepts that are in the scoping study, and taking that forward. Like the metallurgical work, a lot more robust science has got into it, and expectations are that this will produce a very long life open cut pit. This is a project that's located very close to China, the world's biggest economy, world's biggest consumer of copper. We have the infrastructure, we have the power, we have the water. Really, it's about getting this next phase of work out, delivering that PFS. And I think that people, once they see the numbers and see the value that's in this, will understand the project a lot clearer. And it's really good timing for Xanadu. We're coming into a market where we just haven't had enough copper discoveries. We don't have enough copper projects coming online. And there's a real shortfall in the concentrate market, particularly in Asia. And we're seeing TCRCs at record lows. So it's a really exciting time to be bringing a project into that next phase. And I think importantly too, what distinguishes Xanadu from a lot of our peers is that we have a partner that is a professional mining company and has the balance sheet to take this project forward. So that's quite exciting. That's in a very good position. So we don't see any slowdown stepping from the PFS into the next phases. It's going to be an exciting time. And as I said, having come back from Mongolia, we're only seeing amazing support there from the local government and also the newly elected Minister of Mines. So, this is a project that's got support on many different levels. And as I said, has the ability to progress rapidly.
Sounds very exciting. We're
Mm,
looking forward to see those results and numbers.
mm.
So last question from me. What are the thoughts of Zijin, your top shareholder and Kharmagtai JV partner, on the exploration prospectivity in Xanadu's portfolio and how it fits into their growth plan?
There's mining companies and there's exploration companies, and Xanadu is very much an exploration company. Our skills are, finding resources and then progressing them through and having those discoveries. I think as we get through this PFS and, probably the involvement as a gin as we progress towards the next phase will become more and more so. What we speak to and what we when we talk to Zijin, they're very happy with the way we're doing the exploration. And we had a meeting actually in Mongolia several months ago where we went through a lot of the forward plans with our counterparties in Zijin. If you look at it today, exploration drilling and these phases can take a bit of time. So, often you start your stage one, which pushes your open pit into in towards the FID and past. But in the background, you're really thinking about what your stage 3 and 4 looks like, and that requires more resource drilling. So, I'm not 100% sure how things will work going forward, Hannah, but I suspect that Zijin will be leaning on a lot of our exploration experience, particularly with this deposit at Kharmagtai. And they will use that to grow the resource, and we'll work together to continue that exploration philosophy at Kharmagtai.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrew. This is the end of the interview. Thank you so much for your time today.